Judgment Day is upon us, and that means it is time for me to judge your Letterboxd top 4 and recommend you a movie based on it. Special shout out to Simon Cisco Simon for leaving this comment under my last video. Make sure you guys leave a comment under this one so you can be featured in the next one. Make sure you leave your Letterboxd handle so I can pull up the picture of your top 4. Okay, kicking it off, we have Oculus, Down with Love, Mockingbird, and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I love that your top 4 is really just split into two rom-coms and then 2 horror movies. You're also the second person I've seen with How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days in your top 4. I don't know what is in that movie, but y'all really do love it. Both of these rom-coms are a little modern Taming of the Shrew adaptations. So to keep that going, I would recommend Deliver Us from Eva. It's another like Taming of the Shrew type of thing going on. Next up, I have Evil Cat, Robots, Perfect Days, and Tromeo and Juliet. You're so real for having Robots in your top 4. Robots is one of my favorite animated movies. I even had the soundtrack. And Perfect Days has been sitting on my watch list for so long. Your top 4 definitely gives like absurd a little bit, a little campy. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but there is a movie called I Love Boosters that came out earlier this year. So if by some crazy happenstance you haven't seen it, you should watch it. And I will also check out I'm a Virgo. It's a limited series that Boots Riley also directed, but if you like camp and absurdism, you would like that. Okay, we have Chelsea with The Princess Bride, One Spring Night, Pride and Prejudice, and The Last Dragon. You are a romantic girly. What's so funny is if Wuthering Heights, the one that came out this year, was any good, I would recommend that. And Wuthering Heights really was supposed to be the epic romance of the year, and it just didn't live up to that. But it's a beautiful movie, beautiful gowns. I think I recommend this movie every time I do one of these. I would recommend Cane River if you really do just love a good romance. Cane River is such a good romance. It gives you all the feels. Okay, next we have Spirited Away, Hot Rod, Scooby-Doo, and Clue. You're so real for this. You are actually real for this. I try not to get too much into the performative conversation when it comes to people's top 4s because I do believe you like what you like, but I do think that we should all put our favorite movies in there more often rather than movies that we think everyone deems good, so to speak. That being said, I know that you genuinely do really love these movies. If you haven't seen Sheep Detectives yet, and I don't even like the Sheep Detectives, is like a murder mystery, but it's so like fun and the sheep are talking and it really is like a key, like it's a fun ride. So if you haven't seen the Sheep Detectives yet, please go and watch it because I do think you really would enjoy that movie. Next, I have Leo, who is 14 years old. I think you are a channel regular. What's up? We have Jaws, Demon Slayer, Interstellar, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I also want to say everybody that has Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in their top 4, I finally watched it when I was, watching all the Spider-Man movies so I could rank them. All of y'all are absolutely correct. 100% correct. That is one of the best movies I've watched all year. You guys are right. Y'all are right. Okay, so for you, Leo, I don't know if I recommended this movie to you before, but you do like an adventure and you do like things to be fun. I am one of the few Ready Player One truthers. People talk shit about Ready Player One a lot, saying it's not one of Steven Spielberg's best, but because you have Jaws in here and then you have these kind of other adventurous movies, I think you would like Ready Player One a lot. I liked it. All right, next up we have Jean Jacket, which is one of my mutuals. Hey. We have Nope, Ganja and Hess, The Incredibles, and Haru. I watched the trailer for Haru. It's on my watch list. I plan on watching it within the next 30 days because it looks so good. Because you have these like elevated horror movies and you have somewhat of a family movie in here, I would recommend The Host. It came out in 2006. It was directed by Bong Joon-ho. If you have not seen it, I think you should watch it because I think that you would like it. It is Bong Joon-ho, so it has monsters, but it is also saying a lot of things socially, and it is just put together so very well. And I like how it looks. It looks so nice. All right, next up, we have an aspiring writer who has Taxi Driver, Boogie Nights, Lahane, and Y Tu Mama Tambien. Y'all know how I feel about Y Tu Mama Tambien over here. I feel like I've seen this top 4 before, and this is not even me being shady. I feel like I may have reviewed this movie. I reviewed your top 4 before. Have I reviewed your top 4 before? Either way, I'm going to recommend you a movie again because I highly doubt it's going to be the same one, even though it might be. You seem to like movies that take you on a ride emotionally. There is a lot of growth happening. And you don't mind watching movies in other languages. So I would recommend City of God. City of God, it is a Brazilian film, and it was one of the best films I watched last year. There's not enough to be said, honestly. This movie is amazing, and it takes you on a ride in such an experimental way. The stuff that they are doing down in Brazil on film is crazy, and it has been insane for decades. So tap into Brazilian film, you will not be disappointed. All right, next up we have Old Boy, Do the Right Thing, Santa Sangre, and Le Samurai. I hope I said that right. I really like everything that you got going on here. I can tell that you are someone who likes a stylistic movie, but is still kind of rooted in a bit of reality. It doesn't seem too campy or absurd. So for that, I would recommend The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover. It is a beautiful looking movie. And I honestly think you could swap out any of these movies in your top 4 and put that one in, and it would still be just as seamless. Next, we have Paris is Burning, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, Robots again, and The Maze Runner. Yo, shout out to Robots. I'm glad that the people didn't forget. Like, Robots is such a good animated film. It's so quirky and weird. Robin Williams is hilarious. And it is like, it has some real serious things to say about like capitalism. It's definitely the kind of movie that radicalizes the children. I feel like you learned the most about capitalism and socialism from a movie like Robots. This is probably the most eclectic top 4 that I have seen, I would say. Like Paris is Burning, Robots, The Maze Runner, and then a Coen Brothers movie. Like this is kind of all over the place, but in a complimentary way. Because it's so eclectic, I do have 2 movies that I want to recommend to you. I want to recommend Life. It came out in 1999. Simultaneously, the saddest movie you will ever watch, while also being the funniest movie you will ever watch. And it's a marvel at how it balances those 2 out. And since we're talking about capitalism and socialism, I would recommend No Other Choice, which I feel like didn't get enough shine last year. This is a Park Chan-wook stan account, and I think everybody needs to watch No Other Choice. So Life, No Other Choice, I think you're gonna have a great time. Next, I have Who is Somnia? We have Interstellar, Parasite, Memento, and Coming to America. I have a couple things to say about the top 4 because my initial thought was like, this top 4 is so basic, it's so boring. But I have on multiple occasions have had Parasite in my top 4. I also currently have Memento in my top 4. And Interstellar is a movie I definitely rated 5 stars. And Coming to America is just a classic. So as much as on an initial look, I'm like, this is not your real top 4. It very well could be. Who am I to judge? I would recommend, I mean, this is kind of eclectic. I think you do like a epic movie and a movie that really surprises you or gets something out of you. Because you have Memento in here and it kind of plays around with like story structure and being non-linear, and you have Parasite that deals with class issues, and you have Coming to America that has a little bit of romance. Park Chan-wook stan account cannot not recommend a Park Chan-wook movie. I think you would like The Handmaiden, and I think it has that same level of epicness. It is a beautiful looking movie. It's almost like every frame is a painting. So if you are wooed by a movie like Interstellar where it just looks beautiful, you are gonna like The Handmaiden. I feel like when you think about The Handmaiden and these 4 movies, you wouldn't put them together, but if you haven't seen it, I think you'd like it. And last but certainly not least, I actually think this is my favorite bio that I've ever read. The worst thing a movie can be is boring. I think, maybe you might not like a certain movie, but I can't stand a boring movie. And anybody who thinks like this, I can respect. We have The Room, Forbidden Zone, Female Trouble, and Doom 2. Listen, I want to personally tell you that I haven't seen any of these movies, none of them, but I've watched the trailer and I've read the synopsis for each one of them. And I have the perfect movie. And I just love that you are so camp. This is a camp ass top 4. Like, I am really eating this up. Like, you probably are my favorite top 4 out of everybody, because nobody can fuck with, like, you meant this from the bottom of your heart. Like, you don't even care who rated it what. You're real for this. But if we're talking camp, I want you to watch Jackie's Back. You would love that movie. For what this is your top 4, you would love Jackie's Back. Jennifer Lewis in that movie is a revelation. It is so wacky and campy. You can take any of these movies out of your top 4 and replace it with Jackie's Back, and your top 4 will still be just as camp, just as absurd, just as wacky and comedic. Please tell me when you watch Jackie's Back, come back and tell me what you thought, because I think you would love that movie. And that's all, folks. Here is my top 4. I change my top 4 every month based on the movies I watched the month before. And last month I had a Christopher Nolan binge. I watched all his movies and then I ranked them. So naturally 2 Nolan movies are in my top 4. It makes me look like a super Nolan girly. I'm here for it. I love judging you guys' Letterboxd top 4s, because not only do I get to recommend y'all movies, but it never fails where I don't do one of these videos and I add 2 or 3 movies to the watch list. So we're recommending movies to each other because we're friends and we love movies together. Make sure you guys leave your Letterboxd handles in the comments below so you can be judged next. And while you're down there, make sure you hit that subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.